This challenge is entirely based on hunger. This is definitely a survival program. The most thrilling outdoor survival show in the world. They bring one man and one woman, complete strangers, into a wilderness. No food, no water, not even clothes, to survive for 21 days based on fate, if they complete the challenge. There's a prize of $100,000, equivalent to about 2.5 billion VND. Do you dare to take the challenge? In the pristine Maloca forest in Colombia, this place is very frightening. The humidity here is around 80% year-round, so the nights are very oppressive. Annual rainfall is nearly 4 meters, making this place prone to frequent flooding. The forest also has a highly toxic tree called mapanados, and the most terrifying are the jaguars lurking. In the trees, with their strength, they can leap from dozens of meters to take down prey. The first to appear is Milo, having lived in remote mountains since childhood. Lacking water and electricity, he started working at 5. By 10, he could drive a tractor, plow fields, and work for minority tribes. At 18, he began learning English, and with only $20, he went to the city. To make a living, he did all kinds of jobs, from construction to carpentry. So returning to the forest felt like going back to his childhood. Next is Elisa, a fitness trainer. Her muscular build makes many guys admire her. She was bullied by friends as a child. But after years of training, she now confidently says that if anyone bullies her, they'll surely be defeated. She came here because 5 years ago she had an allergic reaction to antibiotics. Luckily, after a long emergency treatment, she survived and became stronger. This time, she's here to test her limits. They ride in the program's vehicle and are taken to the location. Upon arrival, both strip off their clothes, then they venture deep into the forest to meet. At first, they exchange compliments. Then Milo talks about his life in a semi-wild tribe, making Alyssa, who grew up in the city, very curious about how he survived. Milo says because he spent half his life in a semi-wild tribe, he's very skilled at setting up camp and living outdoors. Even traps are very familiar to him. Alyssa feels very relieved, though she's full of enthusiasm. She knows nothing. But Milo is still a very reliable partner. The survival tools they bring this time are a small knife, fishing line, and a cooking set provided by the program, along with a lighter. After studying the map, they decide to follow the river toward a larger body of water, where fish are more abundant. Since it's deep in the pristine forest, there are no paths. They walk for over 3 hours, to finally reach a wide, flowing water area, unsure if there are dangerous animals in the water. They have no choice but to bravely jump into the river and quickly swim to the other side. Once ashore, they don't dare rest, but immediately find an open area to set up camp. Due to Milo's indecision, they stay busy until nightfall to finish setting up camp. At night, as they prepare to settle in, they hear noises outside the camp. It turns out to be a jaguar that accidentally wandered into their camp, scaring them so much they barely dare to breathe. The next morning, due to lack of sleep, both are in poor mental condition. Alyssa's legs are covered in mosquito bites because there was no fire, so they decide to build a safer shelter and continue working extremely hard. At noon, Alyssa finds a dry coconut shell and plans to make a shirt for herself, but Milo thinks he's seen enough, and it's unnecessary to make more clothing. Alyssa doesn't want to cause conflict, so she discards the coconut shell and helps Milo work. After they get some salt, both are delighted and sit in the camp to discuss the next tasks. Milo, confident and arrogant, orders Elisa to just lie still, but this muscular girl feels he's somewhat belittling her. On the third day, Milo, exhausted, thinks they're slowing down and need rest, but Elisa, still full of energy, ignores him and goes alone to gather firewood. Milo feels embarrassed and has to persuade Elisa not to overexert herself, but she thinks Milo is acting a bit patriarchal. By the 7th day, after a week without food, they finally catch a fish, happily bring it back to camp and grill it to eat. On the 8th day, Elisa continues catching spiders by the river to use as bait. After catching one, she's so scared she nearly faints, and Milo has to take the spider, hang it on the hook, and wait for fish to bite. At night, heavy rain and thunder roar. They have to huddle in their leaky camp, enduring the night. The next morning, soaked by the heavy rain, they have to reinforce the camp again, because if it rains again, they won't be able to endure. While reinforcing the camp, Milo doesn't let Alyssa help. This makes her very dissatisfied, feeling belittled. Even so, she can't do anything because Milo is a confident and patriarchal man. Things get worse when Milo discovers the river's water level is rising and washing away their fishing gear. That night, the rain grows heavier, though they reinforce the camp during the day. Faced with such a storm, they can't do anything. By the 10th day, after 2 sleepless nights, they're exhausted. Milo realizes they can't complete the challenge with just their own strength and starts asking Alyssa for help. On the 11th day, Alyssa continues catching spiders by the river and catches a fish, then hangs the spider on the hook and casts it into the water. On the 12th day, they catch 2 more fish. In the following days, Alyssa overcomes her fear of spiders and starts gathering bait, confidently. With plenty of bait, Milo keeps catching fish. After realizing the effectiveness of teamwork, Milo completely changes his view of Alyssa. On the 16th day, while gathering firewood, they stumble upon a highly venomous snake. The snake's bite is dangerous. Milo isn't afraid at all. He quickly handles it and brings the snake back to camp to grill. On the 18th day, after eating their fill, Milo asks Alyssa to teach him to swim. After a few hours in the water, he learns to dog paddle. On the final day, they take out the map to prepare to leave. The map shows they must cross a mountain nearly 1,000 meters high in the vast forest, while avoiding attacks from jaguars and venomous snakes. Though the journey is tough, they encounter no life-threatening dangers. After over 5 hours of walking, they arrive and see the program's vehicle waiting for them by the river. Their outdoor survival challenge is a success. Though over the past 3 weeks, they didn't have to worry about food. Alyssa still lost 25 pounds and Milo lost 35 pounds. In the end, they won and took home $100,000. The male contestant this time is a professional hunter named Adam. Before this, he trained his focus to overcome the challenge. When paired with someone of the opposite sex, the female contestant is a lively and lovely girl named Quillen with some wilderness survival experience, learned from books. She finds this challenge very exciting. As a single person, this no-clothes survival style is fine with her. But when the two meet, seeing such a beautiful girl, Adam suddenly forgets all the focus he trained for, his eyes full of tension and excitement. Following the map's guidance, this challenge's location is in the Elizabeth Mountain Range in Nicaragua. Here, there are highly venomous cobras and large predators like jaguars. Their survival tools are just a knife. So, they decide to head to a waterfall to find an open area, both safe and near a water source. Both are quite satisfied with their partner. Adam is most pleased with Quillen's beauty, while Quillen finds Adam strong, charming, and handsome. After hours of trekking through dense forest, they reach a small stream near the waterfall, choose an area with good feng shui, and start gathering materials to build a shelter. Since they're not wearing clothes, Quillen feels inconvenient while working. She makes a bikini from leaves and asks Adam to help her put it on. Judging by Adam's expression, he's a bit disappointed with their teamwork. By sunset, they finish building the shelter. At night, heavy rain suddenly pours down. Since they haven't lit a fire, both are unbearably cold and have to hug each other to stay warm. As time moves to the second day, the freezing cold from last night makes them unwilling to experience it again. The first thing after waking is to start a fire, since they also need fire to purify water. Lighting the fire goes fairly smoothly. Then Adam uses bamboo to make containers to fetch water, boiling it over a large fire to kill bacteria. But because the wood here is too wet, they can't make a big fire. From morning to afternoon, they still can't boil water. They might not have drinking water today. Adam suggests going to the waterfall, where water flows down from the mountain, relatively clean, and can be drunk directly without boiling. But the waterfall looks close, yet is far. Several kilometers away. Quillen thinks it'll be dark before they reach it. Adam suggests resting for the night, to regain strength and head out in the morning. Quillen doesn't want to walk, but for drinking water, she reluctantly agrees. As time moves to the third day, they start heading toward the waterfall. Having not drunk water for a while, Quillen is extremely weak. walking a few steps and needing to rest, going a bit further and stopping. It takes hours to reach the waterfall. After rehydrating with fresh water, both feel much better mentally. They also bring some water back to camp. Next, they focus on finding food. Quillen eats on the spot, but it's all plants, while Adam brings back protein sources like crabs, snails, and worms. However, Quillen is vegetarian and refuses to eat. Adam tries to replenish calories, but still feels very uncomfortable upon returning. Over the next 3 days, they forage for food. As the weather gradually dries, they can build a large fire and water can be boiled from the stream. But nights are still very cold, so they hug to stay warm. At this point, they hear mountain lions roaring around the camp, making them too scared to sleep. On the 9th day, the terrifying experience last night leaves them frightened. As a hunter, Adam understands this danger and decides to craft homemade weapons, making a long spear from bamboo. Then he and Quillen discuss checking the camp's surroundings and finding a new place to move. They split up in 2 directions. If there's trouble, they'll shout for the other to help in time. Adam finds a path with animal tracks and clear lion paw prints. This is a major threat to the camp. Quillen finds a natural cave, much better than their current shelter, and calls Adam over. When Adam arrives and sees this perfect cave, he decides to move the shelter. On the way to relocate, Adam nearly steps on a venomous snake, but luckily reacts quickly and uses the spear to kill the snake. Quillen is terrified, but Adam is thrilled because they have dinner. Though Quillen helps process the snake, she still doesn't eat meat, making Adam worry that without protein, Quillen won't last. That night, the mountain lion's roars continue endlessly, keeping them from sleeping. They stay vigilant around the camp to avoid attacks during sleep. On the 14th day, both are severely sleep-deprived, as lions disturb them every night. Food scarcity leaves them exhausted, especially Quillen. Her muscles waste away quickly. Though she knows she needs protein, she insists on staying vegetarian, eating only plants, which Adam thinks provides too few calories. On the 17th day, it's unclear what happened last night, but both are very cheerful, more intimate, and start foraging together. This time, Adam catches a lizard, perhaps due to prolonged hunger or another reason. Under Adam's influence, Quillen finally agrees to eat meat and finds it delicious. On the 19th day, they don't look for food but sit on a mountaintop to talk. They feel lucky to be partners in this challenge, talking about life and hobbies, growing to understand each other more. Adam hopes if they meet again, they can maintain their current relationship. Quillen isn't sure, but still looks forward to another trip or adventure with Adam. On the 21st day, they prepare to leave, before heading to the extraction point. They gather enough fresh water. According to the map, the extraction point is on a large road, near a banana field. They must cross steep rocks and winding streams. A 6-kilometer journey. This area is full of venomous snakes, startling them several times, though the path is tough. Thinking of the victory awaiting them, both maintain their pace. After a long struggle, they finally see the large road appearing before them, and the vehicle to pick them up arrives on time. Not only do they win the prize, but they also build a friendship. Quillen believes it's a lifelong friendship, which Adam fully agrees with. There are thousands of outdoor survival styles, but I also love this challenge of a man and woman in the wild, in this raw and fresh way. Plus, they can survive together. In 21 days, you have enough time to do what you want. Persist to the end, and you can win a $100,000 prize. The male contestant this time is Roman, a former Special Forces officer who served in the prestigious Green Berets, but curiosity drove him to sign up for the challenge. The female contestant is a nurse named Holly, who loves outdoor survival. But this is her first time experiencing survival, completely naked, both nervous and excited, since the meeting point is chosen in the middle of a lake to avoid crocodiles. They don't talk much and quickly return to shore, carrying the survival tools each chose, including a large knife and a mosquito net. Clearly, they've watched this program a lot and know well the power of insects. Then they take out the map. This challenge's location is in the pristine Gianna forest, full of swamps and lakes, home to many caiman crocodiles, venomous snakes, and disease-carrying insects. Survival conditions are extremely harsh, so they decide to avoid the swamps and head into the forest, not far into the forest. Roman notices some trees aligned in a row and thinks using them as a frame will make building a shelter more efficient, but Holly suggests finding a spot near water. However, Roman remains stubborn and ignores Holly's advice, only urging her to work, quickly. A shelter with a mosquito net is set up. Holly suggests starting to look for food, but Roman thinks it's getting dark and there's no time, and they hadn't planned to find food today. This angers Holly, and she leaves the shelter. Realizing his mistake, Roman talks and sincerely apologizes, admitting he brought his military command habits here. At night, though, they have a mosquito net. They can't avoid ants and are disturbed all night. The next morning, their bodies are covered in bites and feel dehydrated. Without water, they can't do anything else. But the nearest water source is the lake. Drinking it risks parasite infection, but it's the only way. At this time, it's crocodile breeding season. To protect their young, any creature in sight could be attacked. So they decide to relocate the shelter. They build a simple tent with wooden sticks, but adding the mosquito net greatly improves the shelter's quality. Just as they prepare to start a fire, heavy rain suddenly pours down, forcing them to add a waterproof layer to the shelter. On the third day, the lack of covering in front makes them feel uneasy. They initially plan to use palm leaves, but Roman finds 2 pieces of fabric and makes a covering for Holly. Even helping her put it on, Holly feels much more comfortable. Then they try to start a fire. Holly, due to weakness, quickly gives up, while Roman, though strong enough, uses the wrong method, sweating for nothing, before it rains again. Holly guides Roman to change his posture, leaning forward. With this method, they quickly spark a flame and build a large fire. Roman suggests Holly stay to tend the fire, while he goes to find food in the forest. He finds many rotten palm fruits containing protein-rich larvae and brings them back to camp, extracting the larvae to eat raw or grill over coals. Both have a hearty meal. Time passes quickly to the 6th day. To find more protein, they decide to risk going to the lake to catch fish, using the mosquito net as a fishing net. However, they only scoop up mud, no fish, and risk crocodile attacks, so they return to shore. On the 8th day, they try another method. Roman weaves a fish trap. Holly keeps watch, while Roman places the trap underwater and secures it with sticks. But by the 9th day, when checking, they still haven't caught any fish. Roman decides to make a spear and surprisingly achieves great success. Catching a large catfish, they quickly clean the fish, grill it over coals, and finally have a proper meal after days of hunger. On the 13th day, when checking the fish trap, they catch a small crocodile. Roman swiftly handles it with a long spear. Crocodile meat is delicious like chicken, helping them sustain for a few more days. In the following days, Roman makes more hunting tools and often takes Holly hunting. One day, they target a snake. Spotting one under a large tree, Roman doesn't care what species it is, and catches the snake barehanded, showing the boldness of a former Special Forces soldier. The snake provides plenty of meat, sustaining them until the 17th day. At this point, heavy rain pours down, showing the boldness of a former Special Forces soldier. The snake provides plenty of meat, sustaining them until the 17th day. At this point, heavy rain pours down. Luckily, by the 21st day, the rain stops and it's time to leave. After bathing and eating, they follow the map, passing a lake full of crocodiles and trekking 4 clones through dense forest to reach the rendezvous point. Though dangerous, no incidents occur. Both safely reach the shore and continue their journey. They find a path made by hunters, helping them quickly exit the forest, and their vehicle arrives on time. In the end, both complete the challenge, easily winning the prize.